Hello everyone, my name is Michael Kelley. I'm here at ASPE 2024 in Columbus, Ohio with Zoeller Pump Company, booth 741. On display here we have our pivot panels. So we've got two on display here, but we've got four different options. We have Pivot RL, which is our mechanical relay version, very low cost, affordable option. We've got the Pivot Pro, and the Pivot Pro Plus. So I'll start with the Pivot here. This is what we would call a smart panel. So it has a circuit board in there, and the advantage of that is we could jam a lot of features into a small enclosure, and it's no longer an option that you have to add in. So a mechanical relay panel, if you want an additional alarm, any additional monitoring features, you have to add a physical component. So we did away with all that. You get all those features and benefits in this panel. Now moving over to the Pivot Pro, the obvious upgrade here is the LCD screen, so you can interface with this panel. You can configure the different options with the buttons here. And moving to the Pro line, you can also monitor this via the Wi-Fi. So with this additional component that you can purchase separately, you can now bring this panel online. You get email, text, or push notifications of any alarm conditions. You can check the panel status, you can check run times, event counters, and it's 100% free. So once you pay for this, no monthly fees or anything else for that online monitoring. Going up next will be the Pivot Pro Plus. So that's going to be for our reversing pumps that we offer. And it's also going to be for external start run capacitors or any additional features that might need a larger enclosure. So it's going to be a slightly larger enclosure than this. But again, the advantage of a smart panel is all the additional features that are just built in. So you're not getting just a high water alarm. You're also getting alarms such as a continuous run. If you've got a three-phase panel such as this one here, if you tap the multi-tap transformer in the wrong position, it will send an alarm. If you leave your pump in the off position for 4 hours, it will send an alarm. So if you have somebody servicing a station, they turn the pump off, put everything back in place, and they leave and forget to turn the panel back in auto, it'll send an alarm. Now you can also turn it off permanently. Maybe the pump is bad, you've got to replace it. If you hold this button down, you can turn it off permanently, so you can bypass that alarm as well. What I would say is arguably the best feature of this panel is the Smart Float logic. So if you have a mechanical relay panel, for the pump to turn on, it has to first see the stop float and then the lead float. The pump will kick on, pump the water down, dropping these floats, and the pump will kick off. The issue with mechanical relay panels, it has to see those two signals to activate the pump. So let's say this stop float gets stuck, gets full of water, whatever it may be. You could potentially have a 6 or 7 figure lift station, and a $50 float will put it down. So if you lose any one of your floats, you've lost your entire station. Now the advantage of the Smart Float logic is if it doesn't see that signal, a couple of things are going to happen. One, it's going to sound an alarm. And two, it's going to activate the pump. So it didn't see the stop signal, so it's telling you you've got potentially a bad float. But whenever I raise this float, it's still pulled in the motor contactor. So the motor or the pump is now running. That pump is going to continue to run until this float drops, plus an additional 10 seconds. So it's going to pump that water level down a little bit more. And the advantage of that is you maintain operation, and you're not short cycling your pumps either, because it's going to pump it down a little bit further. And now you can see the motor contactor just pulled out, shutting the pump off, and it tells you you've got an alarm here, float 1, which is the stop float, which is flashing. Another advantage at startup, maybe you've got the floats out of order, and they're not sequencing properly, it'll let you know that as well. Then to clear your alarms, all you need to do is hold down the reset button, and you're back up and running normal. So stop by, check us out on our pivot panels.